Kieran, another difficult day in the Premier League against obviously top quality opposition. What's your verdict on that one, please?
Yeah, really tough game. Probably two different games to a certain extent. Tough at 11v11. Arsenal started really well. Probably felt at the start of the game that it was, maybe the highest standard that we faced this year, to be honest. So the group was absolutely at full stretch trying to compete in the first 30 minutes. We had a few moments where we could have hurt the opposition, but in the end their execution was better than ours and their quality shone through in the goals. And they were the better team and deserved the lead at that point. Of course, then the red card makes it, almost an impossible task in terms of getting back into the game. And I thought the group showed good qualities with 10 men, to be honest. The second half was a really tough situation. I thought we managed it well. Defensive, organisation, spirit, resilience was really good. Didn't give up too many things in free play. We knew if we'd done that we'd actually get one or two moments up around their box. We had a similar situation in the Aston Villa game early in the season, and we actually had a couple of little moments. You need it to go in the net, really, to have a chance in the game. But it didn't, and then, just disappointed with a couple of short corners, which were difficult to deal with. The good on short corners, when you lose that man, that's actually one moment where it becomes really difficult because, without giving up too much in the box, it's hard to match up the numbers that they have in the short, even with 11v11. So, disappointed that a couple of short corners end up going in the net, but I thought the second half of the group showed the right qualities that, were needed to show in that instance.
You mentioned the red card. The crowd clearly weren't happy with it. What's your view?
No, at the time I didn't think it was, but it's it's on the far side of the pitch, and that's probably more in line of knowing Leif really as a player, and I don't think he's got a malicious bone really, so I don't think there'll be intent to injure. But when you see it on the video, it's obviously a high challenge again. I'm pretty certain with no intent, but it's a high challenge, so I can see why the referee give it, and when it's given, it's never going to be overruled. So I don't think too many complaints.
A couple of players not in the squad today. Kind of Townsend, Nathan Broadhead. Neither of those were sort of mentioned pre-match today injury.
Yep. So Connor from the Chelsea game when he came on with a hamstring that he was struggling for after the Wolves game. So we've lost Connor and Nathan with a thigh issue.
Kieran, after back-to-back promotions, nobody expected it to be a walk in the park for you. But are you a bit disappointed that you've lost 20 out of 33 Premier League games now? That's quite a brutal stat. Maybe not a reflection on how you played in all the games.
No, look, we could have had more points at this stage. So the ones that we've managed to be tight, we haven't came out on top of the margins enough. There's also then a category of games like today, maybe Man City, Newcastle, where the game just gets away. The opponent's just too good, too strong. And the challenge has been big. But look, we've picked up 13 results. You can look at it in another way. We've picked up 13 results. I think, of the teams that we've faced twice, it's Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Forest. It's a pretty small category of teams who haven't taken something off. So, we're competing against, some top teams in the top league in the world. We know how big the climb's been. I think we've competed well lots of weeks, not every week, but we've competed well most weeks, which is how we've managed to take points off of those teams, but we haven't won enough games. When we've put ourselves in position to win games, we haven't managed to get enough games over the line or take the margins enough whenever we've managed to make games really tight and competitive to have the points total that we'd want to have.
You've lost 4-0, you're all but relegated, and yet at the end you're applauded off. What does that say about what's going on here, and how does that make you feel?
No, it's massive testament to the supporters. Of course, it's mixed emotion because you're so honoured and humbled by it, but also you're disappointed because you'd like to have given them a different outcome to the game. But I think we've got a fantastic supporter base, and I think they understand better than anyone the scale of the challenge. There's some there, the older generation, who've seen 22 years without Premier League football, and they've seen the jump that's been for the club and for so many of the players who've been on that journey, and then also players who've come into this team, into this group, but very, very few who have competed regularly at the Premier League level, if ever before. So they know that it's been a massive jump. I think they see that the group's working really hard and everyone's given everything, and that's been reflected in a lot of the performances, and that's been shown even in moments like today where the result's gone but the group are still working and fighting. The body language is good, and I think they know that there's not too much else that the players can give from that. Of course, we'd like to have made one or two less mistakes over the course of the season or been clinical in one or two more moments, but they know that the group's given everything and is continuing to do so. So it's fantastic that they're behind it. I think they also know and believe that the club's in a much, much, much better position now than it was a few years ago. That whatever division, and it looks like we know what division that will be in, but the club's much stronger going into that, and that if we keep doing the right things, if we keep showing the right values, keep working in the right way, then there's a great chance that we can use this setback as another thing to push us forward, because things aren't always linear, things aren't always in an upward trajectory. Of course, we'd love to have promotion, establish. The first bit of that journey's been incredible, but it looks like we're not going to be able to do the third bit, but there's other ways to keep developing and building this club back to being hopefully a Premier League football club, and the supporters are going to have a massive part to play in that, and they're certainly playing their part at the moment.